Morning everybody, my name is Emma. It is day 32 of the Teen Yoga Foundation Zen Challenge. I can't quite believe we're into kind of 6 weeks of doing this, but it's also fantastic. I'm leading you through your practice this morning. Decided to come outside to lead it with you today. My neighbours are playing a fantastic playlist in the background, so if you can hear that, do enjoy it. Like to always start with a check-in. It's a chance for you to know what I'm bringing to the space and also for you to reflect on how you feel. I'm checking in feeling like this. So I'm not too sure I have the words for what that means inside my body, but that's how it feels. So I know that my practice will really help me shift that. I'm just going to work with that energy and try and create a little bit of fluidity within it. And hopefully feel better. So pausing to ask you how you're doing, how are you feeling, how's your week been, how are you feeling about this week, what's going on for you. Hopefully you don't feel like that, but if you do, then I feel the same. So whatever you feel and however you feel, don't judge it, just accept it, and we will work within that, with that in our practice today. If you're not sure what you're feeling, or if like me you're not feeling super positive, this is when I like to come to a deck of cards. So I think I've used these once before at the end of the practice, but sometimes if I feel a bit I use them at the beginning. So I'm just going to have a little play with these, and I'm going to pick one that maybe we can use in our practice today to support us. So just gonna try and pick one that I get kind of drawn to today. Okay, so the card that I've picked says freedom. In order to move forward, free yourself from blame. Interesting. So if you're not too sure how to feel within your practice, let's maybe bring the idea of freedom to what we're doing, and maybe I'm just thinking in my head, seeing how I can maybe adapt today's practice to give us a bit of freedom as well. You don't need anything, you just need a space that's yours. If you have a block, fine, or a book. If you have a mat, great, but like always, you don't need any of those things. You just need a space to be able to practice yoga with us. Going to meet on our mats in a cross-legged position, and whenever you're ready, just sort yourself out into your space and I will do the same. So just pausing on our mats, arriving into the space. If it feels good, I invite you to close down your eyes as we just sit for a moment in stillness. And what does it feel like to allow your body to stop? Is there freedom in this moment of stillness, even though we're not moving? Or do you feel quite uncomfortable with this notion of sat still? And if you do, just simply give your body a little bit of a wiggle. That's perfectly fine. So sat with your eyes closed, I'd like you to bring one hand to the front of your chest, and then I want you to take your other hand to the back of your chest. So it's like you've almost created a front and the back of a wall, and you're sat in between it. So your hands are the wall and your chest is in between. I just want you to notice your in-breath and your out-breath. And on your inhale, can you make your hands lightly, your chest lightly push against your hands? And on your exhale, feel that release. And doing that again, inhaling, feeling a slight push on your hands. And exhaling, release. Can you take your same hands and put them on your stomach and your lower back now? And can you get your breath to go all the way down into your belly? Breathing in, allowing your stomach to expand. And exhaling, simply feeling it drop inside. And try that again. Inhaling. and exhaling. You're going to take your same two hands, you're going to put them on the sides of your ribs. So you're not pushing here, you're just light touch. And this time on your inhale, can you see if you can find some space to let your ribs move out to the side? So on your inhale, your ribs push against your hands, and on your exhale, simply release. Inhale and exhale. Dropping your hands to your knees, can you then try and find that same space in your breath? So expanding your chest out and your belly out. And then exhaling, everything releases back again. Now we picked the card freedom, and your breath is really important. It's your breath that gives you the energy to make the movement and give you that freedom. So just notice it as we move through our practice today, and there'll be a few check-ins of what's your breath doing. So maybe think about that front and back movement. Is it in your chest? Is it in your stomach? Is it going out to the side as well as front and back? We can just have a think about that as we move through our practice today. Okay, so what we're going to do to begin with is we're going to let our heart drift all the way backwards. So your shoulders coming forwards. You're then almost going to use your knees as a lever, and you're going to pull your heart forwards and your shoulders back, allowing your heart to drop back, your shoulders to round. And then allowing your heart to come forward and your shoulders to come back. Coming to a neutral position, feeling length through the top of your head all the way down into the ground as well. From here, you're going to start spiraling around your body, so your ribs are moving around in a circle, and that can be however big or small you want it to be. And just notice, does it feel smooth, or does it almost feel sticky? And it's like almost I'm asking you to think in between each of your ribs, you have those muscles and cartilage. How does that feel? Maybe go the other way. A bit like you're stirring some kind of big pot. Fab. From there, you're just going to add your neck into what you're doing as well. So there's no wrong or right in this one, but I just want you to spiral around your head, maybe let your head go the other way, but you're not restricting your upper body to not move. So we're starting already, hopefully, to feel that idea of freedom, just letting your body now, your upper body, move in whatever way feels good. Inviting movement in. You're going to take your wrist on your leg. Now, if you have a block or a book, you can take your block or book on your leg, and then you're isolating your forearm, because we want this circle to come from your wrist. We don't want it to come from your elbow. So from there, you're just going to rotate your wrist all the way round, making circles, and then going the other way. Stopping there, I want you to lift your fingers up. Imagine you're high-fiving me, and then just drop your fingers all the way down. Fingers come up like they're high-fiving me, and then they drop all the way down. Swapping, if you've got a block to the other side. If you haven't got a block, it works exactly the same. You just isolate it on your upper leg, and then you rotate your wrist around one way, and then just rotate it round the other way. Stop there, lift your fingers all the way up like they're high-fiving me. Let them drop all the way down. Fingers come up like they're high-fiving me, and then they drop all the way down again. From there, I just want you to, you're going to go back to this one, and you're just massaging. So you're rotating your wrist, doesn't matter how you do it, it's like a free movement. Your fingers can even have free movement, but you're also just feeling in to your arm as well, so almost giving it a bit of a massage. Then go to your other one. So again, the idea of free movement in your wrist, and just feeling into your arm. Great. From there, you're going to come up onto your knees. So I would like you, if you can, to tuck your toes, all right? So we're not going to be here, we're going to be up in this position. So turning to face you again, so our knees then are tucked, we're up above our head. So you're going to bring your arms all the way up, and from this position there, we're just going to experiment. So you're going to bring one arm forward, one arm back, and come up again. Bring it all the way around and up, all the way around and up, and then we're going to go the other way. So a bit like, I don't know, kind of doing swimming. Okay, from there I want to give you free movement. So this time your body is going to move all the way around. No wrong, no right. We're giving it that idea of free movement. From there, you're going to go down onto your heels. So if you can keep your toes tucked, great. If not, you can just unfold them, up to you. Okay, so coming down to this position here, what I want you to do is reach your arms out really nice and wide. You're going to cross your right arm over your left arm, and then you're going to give yourself a really big hug. I also want you to try and grab hold of your shoulder blades behind you. So just see what that feels like. Give yourself a really big hug. From there, you're going to open your arms out, and then they're going to wrap around each other. So it's that idea of eagle arms that we did the other day. So I'm like this, okay? And then just see if you can lift your elbows up. And great, and then open your arms out to the side. This time, you're going to cross your left arm on top of your right arm. Give yourself that big hug. Really go into your shoulder blades. Squeeze here, almost round your back again maybe. From there, your arms fold round. You find your eagle arms. And maybe just look up, elbows come up. Fab. From there, opening up your hands, reach out. You're going to come up and over, and we're going to find a tabletop position. So tabletop position, and you're just going to tap your feet on the ground to get rid of that energy that you just held in your toes and that toe stretch. From there, your pelvis is going backwards. You're looking all the way up. You're finding your cow. Your pelvis comes back, your head comes in, your tummy your belly button's coming towards your spine. You're tucking all the way in. See if you can link it with your breath. Your exhale, you come up to find your cow. Your inhale, you're coming all the way in. Exhale to find your cow, vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale to find your cat. Now you have permission for this idea of freedom, this idea of colouring outside the lines. No wrong, no right. You can move your hips around. You can circle your elbows either independently or one at a time. You can barrel roll your ribs. Okay? No wrong, no right. It can be messy. Okay, so think like when you were younger and you had those colourings and you was trying to stay in the lines. This time come outside the lines, maybe rock forwards and backwards. From there, you're going to sink back, maybe drop your knees wide, sink back to find your child's pose. So your heels, your hips are going back to your heels, your head comes down. It rests between your biceps. Now from this position here, I want you to, well, first of all, this position is yours anytime you want. So anytime you just don't want to do what we're doing, come to this position here. From here, you're going to tap your first finger, so the finger next to your thumb, you're going to tap it. Feeling a rhythm on your mat or floor. And from there, you're going to start to come up, so lifting your hips up, finding your tabletop position, and then coming a little bit over your tabletop and sinking all the way back down to your child's pose. You're going to swap fingers, so you're now going to tap your middle finger. You're going to come over, and then you're going to come back again. You're then going to choose your ring finger. Now this is all like brain to body talk here, and it becomes more difficult for me personally when I'm coming over the top. You can hardly lift them at all. Then swap, find your pinky finger, your little finger, come over the top, and then back. When you sink back, you're going to bring your fingers all the way up, and then coming up and forwards over your hands. Great. From there, you're going to tuck your toes, and you're going to imagine someone is behind you, and you're going to lift into your first downward dog. So you're going to lift your hips all the way up. You're trying to make your heels go down to the ground. You might want to bend your knees slightly, lift your hips up. Your hands are like starfish. Your head drops down, looking between your knees. You're then walking one foot, followed by the other foot. So heel comes up, one at a time. Listen to how your body wants to move. It could be now you lift your up onto your toes, you twist your heels, you sink your hips down. Come up again, sink your hips down. Come up again, sink your hips down. Really nice. Okay, finding your downward dog. And just pause. Notice your breath. Okay, you're going to bring your knees down. Come up, maybe just roll your wrists around a little bit. And shake. Let's get rid of some of that energy. Shake it out. Okay, from here you're going to find your tabletop. So if you notice there, I was pushing into my hands. I don't really want to do that. I just want a nice neutral position. I'm going to extend now my left leg back, and I'm going to extend my right arm forward. So I'm going to balance now on my left hand, right knee, and my right arm, left foot, shooting forwards and backwards. And I want to feel really nice and secure within this position. Check in with your breath. Have you got it moving in all those directions that we talked about? Okay, from here, I want to encourage you now to keep stability, but you can move your arm and your leg however you want. Okay, so you're literally having a play, but trying to keep your body nice and still. Shoot out forwards and backwards again. Maybe bring your arm to the side and your leg to the side. Shoot forwards and back again. Find that freedom. Forwards and back again. This time you're going to bring your knee to your elbow. And then come back. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Maybe give yourself a bit of a wiggle. Finding stability. So find that nice idea of that breath. On the inhale, on the exhale, it's like everything gets drawn into you. You're going to lift your left arm, right leg, send them forwards and backwards. Really nice and secure, really strong foundations. Find some movement within what you're doing, like you're almost mixing energy round. See if your leg can do one way and your arm the other. Easier said than done. Extend out. Find your flexion in your foot. You're going to then bring, I'm going to have to bend my leg, I don't think I've got enough room, but you're bringing your leg to the side and your arm to the side. Shoot it back again. Bring your elbow to your knee. Shoot it back again and forward. And then just replace down. Perfect. From there, you're going to come into your downward facing dog. Okay. From here then we're going to have a play between downward facing dog and plank. So you're going to now come forward, so you're bringing your weight forward into your plank position. Okay, now I had to adjust my feet there, so my downward dog wasn't quite in the right stance.
If you need to, you can bring your knees down. That's absolutely fine. Bring your knees down. So finding your plank here. From there, you're going to bend your knees, and it's like you're creating a wave with your body, so your downward dog. You then ripple, so you're going to push into your hands, round your back, come up and over your hands, bend your knees, pull your hips back to find a downward dog, rippling up over the top. So you're almost coming onto the very tips of your toes, bending your knees, coming through. My knees were hovering then in case you thought they're on the mat. Downward dog. One last time. Come through. Bend your knees. And we're creating that idea of a wave. Find your downward facing dog. Bring your knees wide. Drop your hips back. Find your pause in child's pose. If you need to stretch out your wrists, do that as well. Check in with your breath. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. So coming up, lifting your hips to find your downward facing dog. Walk your dog if you need to. Colour outside the lines if you need to. Okay, from here we're going to lift our right foot up in the air. So right foot goes high, and from there you're going to step your right foot forward. Okay, so you're now in a nice kind of runner's lunge position. We're going to engage our legs and lift up now to a nice high warrior one. Okay, from here your hands are going to go down. You're going to lift your right foot high in the air. So from there, you're going to lift it back to find your three-legged dog. This time your leg is going to come knee to your opposite elbow. Once it's at your opposite elbow, your leg comes through, okay? And then you can either just stay here, or you can lift up your right hand to find what we call fallen triangle. And you want to lift your hips up here so you're not falling into this waist. Perfect. Your hand's going to come down. You take the weight in your hands. You bring your leg all the way up behind you. You're going to bring your leg back down. Great. From here, lifting your left leg all the way up. You're going to step your left leg through and forward. Brilliant. From there, in a nice high runner's lunge, engage your legs coming up to your warrior, well, your high crescent lunge is not a warrior one because your back foot hasn't changed. Okay, from there your hands are going to come down. You're going to take your left leg that's forward, put your weight through your hands and just send that leg all the way up and high. You're going to bring that left leg across to your opposite elbow, and from there your foot comes across. Mine's now gone in the dirt. You twist your back foot and you open up. Hand comes down, sending that leg up through and high, bringing your feet down to your downward dog. From your downward dog, you're going to come forward to plank. We're going to take a vinyasa. So from here, we're going to drop your knees, drop your chin and your chest down. Find your belly. Undo your feet push down, your pelvis pushes down. You inhale to baby cobra. Check your hands, can you lift them up? Hands come down. Bend your knees. Tuck your toes, coming up to a downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, you're going to come up onto your tiptoes and just walk your feet forward to find a forward fold here, bending your knees, grabbing your elbows, finding a swing. Gently coming up, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way to the top of your mat. Okay, you're going to come now, so if you have a mat, you're going to be side onto it. So I'm going to do this facing you. Okay, so you're going to inhale your arms all the way up. From there, you're going to swan dive forward. Let yourself just bend here and hang. Maybe bend your knees. You're going to allow your arms to come up and wide. It's like a reverse swan dive. Keep your hands at the top. So my hands are almost made this shape and they're at the top. I'm going to cross my right foot over, my left foot over my right foot. Okay. From there, I'm going to banana shape. So I'm going to lean the same way as my crossed foot has gone. Coming up to a neutral position, I'm going to lean the other way. Coming back up to the middle. From there, I'm going to undo my foot and I'm going to step my feet wide. Okay. From here, my thumb and my middle finger are going to go together, and I'm sinking down into my goddess pose here. Okay. I'm going to engage and straighten my legs, and my hands are coming wide to a nice wide star. From here, it's like someone is pulling my right hand. So my right hand gets pulled, and then I tilt, and I'm coming into my triangle pose. If it feels good, look up at your left hand. Engaging your leg, coming back up. From there, my hands are going to spiral, so the right hand is going to be followed by my left hand, and I'm going to come down into a nice high runner's lunge here. From there, I'm going to bring my two hands so they're on the inside of my knee. Okay, so my two hands are on the inside of my foot, and I'm just going to allow myself to creep forwards and backwards here. Seeing if there's any freedom that wants to happen, just moving. I'm feeling nice and strong through my feet though. My hand comes now, so it's now framing my foot, and I've engaged so that I can lift up and my chest is up. From there, my hands are down. I'm just going to play with rocking forwards and backwards. Now, depending on how much flexibility you have in your hamstring will depend on how much movement you can have here. And maybe just rest in that position, bringing your forehead to your knee. Coming forward into my runner's lunge, again not leaning on. I'm going to engage my legs. I'm inhaling up to high crescent lunge here, so we have the position we had before. Straighten my legs to engage, twist my back foot, so now I'm in that L shape, and then I'm going to sink in to a warrior two. From there, my front palm flips up, and I'm going to let myself float backwards to my reverse warrior. I'm going to let my hands float forward to my extended side angle. Floating back again. So I'm finding a bit of a dance here, my own pace. Coming back to my warrior two, nice and engaged. I'm going to allow my hands to windmill, so they're going to windmill down. They're going to find either side of my foot. From here, I'm twisting now to come towards you. So I'm now side on. And I'm coming into this position here. From here, I'm going to allow myself to transfer to the other side. Engaging through my legs, now I can use my hands as much as I want here to come over to the other side. I may be coming up, so if you're feeling strong, you don't need to use your hands to support you. And then I'm going to just allow myself to move. There's no wrong, no right. Imagining I have energy all around me and I can actually move that energy. Gradually coming over to rest on this side. From here, I'm going to twist that back foot, and I'm in a runner's lunge position on the other side now. Again, find that nice strength in the legs and lift up. From there, I'm going to put both hands the same side, the inside of my leg. So my hands have come up, they're going on the inside of my leg. From here, again, just playing around, small rocks forwards and backwards. How does that feel? Hands frame my front foot. And then I'm just, again, easing up and down. Again, depends on your hamstrings. So finding your edges to your movement possibilities. And again, possibly just dropping my head down, maybe working my back heel down. Coming into a nice strong runner's lunge, making sure my chest is away, engaging my legs. Come up to a crescent lunge. Now I had to bring my foot in slightly there. You might need to do the same. Twisting my back foot. So twisting my back foot, straight legs, I'm sinking into my warrior two. From there, my front palm flips up. I allow myself to float all the way back. I allow myself to come all the way over, finding my own flow, my own rhythm within this, trying to think about my breath as well. I'm going to do that one more time. From there, coming into your warrior two, but then allowing your legs to straighten. That same idea that I'm going to be pulled forward, and then I tilt and I'm coming into this triangle pose. If it feels good, look up at your upper hand. Allowing myself to come back up. My toe that's at the front, I'm just going to turn towards, so both my feet now are tracking forwards. My thumb and my middle finger come together. I'm going to sink down here into my goddess pose. Take a breath. From there, open nice and wide into my star pose. This time, bringing my left foot in. My right foot's going across my left foot this time. And then I'm going to lean the opposite way to my foot across. Back up to the middle. Lean, same way as that crossed foot, and reach up. Okay, taking a step to the front of the mat, inhaling your arms up high and wide, and then swan diving forward, so bringing your chest and your chest lead, bending your knees, bending at the hips, hands might touch the floor, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, hands are coming down. You're going to step back 1-2 into your plank position. So stepping back 1-2, knees are going to come down, chin and chest are going to come down, coming down to your belly here. And once you're on your belly, you're going to bring your feet as wide as the mat, and they're engaged. Okay, so that's floppy and that's engaged. And then I'm going to bring my hands wide, and they're going to come above me, and they're making the namaste position, but just on top of my head. So it's like I'm like an arrow. I'm going to drop my forehead all the way down. Feel the body underneath the ground, underneath my body, and just think about that idea of freedom. And although we're lacking freedom at the moment, how can you build freedom? Find freedom within you. You're going to bring your legs together. You're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tucking your toes, coming through a bent knee position. Find your downward dog. You're going to bring your knees wide, and then you're going to drop your hips down to find your child's pose. Bringing your hands back to your knees, maybe your knees together. Just going to roll up here. Allow your hips to sink to the ground to one side, your legs to spin out in front of you. Shuffle yourself forward if you're not in the middle of your space. Your legs are going to come up, your hands are in front of you, and you're just going to allow yourself to peel down vertebrae by vertebrae. Once you're down on the floor, you're going to bring your knees in, And just give yourself a bit of a hug here. Maybe bring your forehead to your knees. Drop your head down, find your hands on your knees, and just give them a little circle here. So a circle one way, and then a circle the other way. I seem to have lots of little flies around me. Letting your legs come wider, and again, finding maybe a circle one way, circle the other way. Knees are going to come down as wide as your mat. You're going to bring your knees in to touch. So almost making a little tent. Maybe popping your hands on your body. And then you're going to allow your knees, for the car to pass, to drop to one side. Bring your knees back up to the top. Allow your knees to drop to the other side. Knees back up to the top. Dropping to one side. Knees to the top. Dropping to the other side. Bringing your feet out just in front of you into your Shavasana position, maybe wobbling your hips from side to side. You've got an option here on your inversion depending on how you're feeling. So you can either just bring your legs up and allow your the blood just to all come down from your feet. You can put your feet up against the wall, or if you're feeling a bit more invigorated and active, you can come up to your shoulder stand if you have done one before and you know how to do it. So with that, you want to keep your neck nice and long, and you don't want to move your neck in that position. Your hands are coming in to support you. They might help you initiate the movement. So you're going to roll up here. You're going to find your hands on your lower back as support. Wasn't very good, I just moved my head then. And your feet are reaching up to the sky. When you feel ready, you're going to bring your legs in. Your hands are then acting as a brake. And you're just going to come down. Again, opening to a Shavasana position. You're going to bring your left leg in. You're going to cross your right leg over the top. Your hands are going to come out to the side. So I've got cactus arms, which just means they're like that. You're then going to allow yourself just to drop your knees to one side and look over the opposite shoulder. Coming back up. So use bringing your legs to the middle. Bringing your right leg down, crossing your left leg over your right leg, and then allowing your knees to drop to the right side, looking over your left shoulder. Activating your legs. Maybe bringing your knees in, giving yourself a hug. Finding the outside of your feet. And we're going to come into happy baby here. So just have a little roll around. Think about when you're a baby, or if you've ever seen a baby, and they have such awe and wonder at discovering their legs and their feet. So maybe just for a moment, think about that freedom that you had when you were a baby, and that awe and wonder and delight in your body, and just spend a moment in that space, having a little play, maybe straightening one leg, straightening in the other leg. If you roll over, it doesn't matter, just come back into the middle and just find that idea of a happy baby. From there, you're going to open out into our final relaxation pose. So you have some options here. You can literally just bring your legs to the side nice and wide and allow yourself to drop down. That's option number one. Option number two is you can roll over and you can come onto your belly. You can make yourself a nice pillow, or really anything in between, or if you don't really want to relax on your back or your front, then just come up to a seated position. So as you're lying there, notice all the different areas that are in contact with the ground. Imagine from the ground they're able to absorb this deep yet bright red colour. And somehow the ground is giving you that message that you are completely safe. You are completely secure. Because for us to be able to find freedom, we have to find safety and security first. I then want you to imagine your belly button area, or think to it, take your attention there, and the area just below it. And imagine a cozy orange colour. And that is your area of possibility and freedom, of creativity, of the endless potential within you. Taking a moment in stillness to acknowledge your body, to feel the effects of your practice, scanning from the very top of your head, through your face, neck, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, chest, stomach, legs, feet. Gradually bringing your mind back from wherever it may have wandered to, inviting some movement into your fingers and your toes, maybe giving them a wiggle. Maybe bringing your knees in if you're lying on your back and giving yourself a hug, or if you're on your stomach, allowing yourself to roll over to one side into that kind of baby fetal position. And then slowly, and whenever your body feels ready, coming to meet in a seated position. Meeting with your hands at your heart center, palm to palm. Rubbing your hands together, generating heat. Maybe bringing your hands over your eyes. Hands meet again at heart center. Knowing energy is a funny thing, and you can create energy and move energy in many different ways. Bringing your hands to your forehead, I wish you peace throughout your week. To your heart, remember to be kind to yourself and to others. And to the ground, as always, in gratitude. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for practicing with me this morning. We always do a well-being tip and we do a challenge. So I'm just going to come a bit closer so you can see or hear better. So my well-being tip for you is about energy, and it's just to go into your week with an increased awareness of your energy and the energy of others, and respecting that energy and working with it. So my well-being tip, something that I did, was I actually just drew. I find when I'm a bit stuck, I find drawing really helps, and I did this on my iPhone notes, and I just got the drawing app up, and I did loads of scribbles anyway, and this is what it ended up looking like. And I'm sure somewhere that has some kind of deeper meaning, but it felt really good just to explore without words what was the energy that was surrounding me. And I did that actually whilst listening to a piece of music, and I found it really therapeutic, and just interesting to see what colours I chose and how hard I wanted to press. So that's something maybe to give a go. You don't have to use your phone, you can actually use pen to paper, but maybe try and express yourself in a different way, especially if you're struggling to find the words to express yourself. It's amazing how if you choose something a different way, sometimes what can come out. So that's my well-being tip for you. And my challenge is, I've been surrounded by music today from other people, so my neighbours, both sides, were playing music, and I actually really enjoyed listening to their playlist. So my challenge for you is to put together a feel-good playlist and then share it. So you can either share it by actually having a bit of a virtual dance party with your friends, if it's tunes that you like together, or just create a playlist and then send the link to somebody and just say, I was thinking of you, thought you might like these tunes that I've chosen. So that is my challenge for you for this week. Don't forget the Zen Challenge Bingo Challenge as well. This has been really useful for me, particularly with the sleep patterns. So don't forget that's ongoing. You can download it from the social media. Wishing you a really good week. Hoping you're checking out, feeling a bit different to how you did at the start. I know I am, and I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.